Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending the Centerstone Virtual Job Fair event. I would like to introduce you to Christina. Christina will tell you about her company, job openings, and how to apply for those openings. Christina?
Great. So my name is Christina Waddell. I am the Talent Acquisition Business Partner for Centerstone for the state of Illinois. We have locations in other states as well, but I primarily deal with the state of Illinois. And I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about some opportunities that we have and some highlights on the benefits of employment with our organization. Before we move on to the first slide, just so that you have a little bit of information about Centerstone, we are a not-for-profit health system providing mental health and substance use disorder treatments. Our services are available nationally through the operation of outpatient clinics, residential programs, and telehealth and inpatient hospital. We also feature specialized programs for the military community, foster care, children's services, employee assistance programs. We also have a research institute that provides guidance through research and technology, the Centerstone Foundation, and our mission is to take care of the people and the community in our community, delivering care to change people's lives. So that's just a little bit about Centerstone as an organization. We have around 3,500 employees throughout all of our states. Today, I'm focusing more on the opportunities that we have in the state of Illinois. So if we move on to the first slide, I can tell you a little bit about the different positions that we are hiring for right now. We have therapist positions, licensed and unlicensed, counselors, which the only real difference between a counselor or a therapist position would be the license, master's level counselors, bachelor's level clinicians, early childhood development programs. We have registered nurse, RN and LPN, psychologists, family service counselors, life skills instructors. We also have residential programs where we have direct support professionals in our residential houses here in Southern Illinois. On the benefit side, this is just a little bit of a highlight of some of the benefits that we have in our organization. Any of this information that you are interested in learning more about, I will provide you my email address and you can contact me anytime so I can go over it a little bit more thoroughly with you. So please reach out if you want to learn more about some of those programs and benefits that we do offer as an organization. All of our positions are posted on our website, right? So you can go to www.centerstone.org and you can go to the careers page and it's going to list all of the positions we have open and available by state throughout the entire organization. So you can look there anytime if there's interest in certain positions. My contact information is listed on each of those positions. So if you would like more information, you can reach out anytime. We can move on to the next slide. This is just kind of a highlight of some of Centerstone's benefits. We really feel strongly about taking self-care and taking care of yourself. So we do have a great paid time off opportunity. We also really want to stress how important it is as an organization to refer other employees to the organization. So we do reward anyone for referrals, $250 for referring people who are hired by Centerstone and stay for at least 90 days. We have 9 paid holidays, starting off 15 paid days off with less than 2 years of employment, 18 for 2 or more, and 24 for 5 or more, 30 for 10 or more. Okay, we can move on to the next slide. We also offer affordable health coverage, a 403B. We have a number of different programs, wellness programs, student loan assistance, tuition reimbursement. We also do reimbursement for licensure and education, that sort of thing. So that's another great opportunity. You can go ahead and move on to the next slide. So this is just kind of an idea of where our footprint is. Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Florida. Now, not so much in Kentucky anymore. I think we might have a few or a couple programs still active there, but right now, Illinois, Indiana, Tennessee, and Florida. Right now, due to the COVID crisis, we have moved into the telehealth. So we actually have a lot of opportunities for telehealth therapists, telehealth counseling. It's new to the organization, but it's been very, very successful at Centerstone. So a lot of our programs that can do telehealth, a lot of our employees are now working from home. Also with our administrative employees, we have many that are currently working from home as well. That's sort of all I have right now. So if you have questions, I'd love to answer any questions that you have specifically about the job opportunities or positions that we have available or how to apply. Feel free to ask any questions.
Fantastic.
You can type them in the chat too, if that's easier.
Fantastic. Thank you for that presentation, Christina. If any of the folks on the call do have questions for Christina, please feel free to enter those into the chat and we'll get those answered for you. And Christina, it does appear that we have a bit of echo.
Is it on me?
I do believe so, yes.
Okay, hold on just a minute.
Are you calling in?
No, I'm on my computer. Let me see if my headphones.
And once we have that squared away, we'll go ahead and get those questions answered for you all. Again, please feel free to enter those into the chat and we will get those answered for you. In the meantime,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Christina.
Can you hear me now?
I can, and there is no echo or delay anymore. So thank you for that.
No problem.
So while we're waiting for questions from the folks who are on the call, I have just some standard questions that I would like to ask you if you have some time to answer those.
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. So the first question that I have for you, Christina, is how long does the hiring process typically take from the point of submitting an application to actually being hired?
It's usually about 2 weeks, about 14 days.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that. And so for all the positions that you covered here today, I know some of them are education specific, but do all of them require, a college degree? And if not, can you kind of elaborate on the ones that perhaps may only require maybe a high school diploma or GED?
Absolutely. So we have residential positions that do not require a college degree. They require a GED or high school diploma. The residential positions are individuals that are working with our developmentally disabled individuals in our group homes. And those are all over Southern Illinois, here in Marion, Carbondale. So those require a high school diploma or a GED. We also have administrative positions, so customer service positions, intake individuals, reception, that sort of thing, customer service individuals that require a GED and or high school diploma.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And I did get a question in the chat, Christina. This individual asked, do you file H-1B for your employee?
I'm sorry, what?
do you file an H-1B for your employee?
I am not sure, but I can find out if that individual would reach out to me through email. I can find out and let them know.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that, Christina. And I do think now would be a prime opportunity if you could please drop your contact information into the chat. Then folks, if they do have questions for you directly that they need and or want answered, they can go ahead and do so.
Sure.
Thank you for that, Christina. And please, for the folks that are on the call, if you do have any questions for Christina, now is a prime opportunity to ask those questions. She will make sure that she gets you an answer and respond promptly. So thank you. Christina, the next question that I have for you is one that is, obviously in the forefront right now in a lot of folks' minds. How is your organization handling COVID safety precautions?
We're constantly updating them based on what the requirements are. All of our residential employees do wear they're provided all of the face masks, the plastic, they're tested every day when they arrive. We have several positions that were on site that were moved home during the COVID process, and Centerstone was able to provide everyone with laptops and all the equipment needed for them to work from home. So I've worked from home since March. It's been very successful in doing my job and being able to work from home. All of the tools and equipment that I've needed were provided very quickly and efficiently. But again, we're adamant about staying up to date with all of the face masks and everything, equipment needed to make sure our employees stay safe.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Christina. And can you more specifically elaborate on perhaps the application and interview process in regards to those safety precautions? Are you allowing for virtual interviews?
Yes.
Just as an example?
All of our first initial interviews are done virtually.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that. And Christina, how can a candidate stand out and get an interview, assuming they are qualified for the position in which they are applying? Is there any pointers or tips or anything in a resume, perhaps, that you would suggest that folks include to stand out during the application process?
Sure. What I've noticed is we have a lot of candidates that share their interest in why they would want to work at Centerstone personally in a cover letter through their application. So when you apply online, there's an opportunity to insert a cover letter or just a few notes about, why you would want to work for Centerstone. And I know that makes a big difference for me as the recruiter, and also for the hiring managers who are looking at your applications. If they feel that you are interested in Centerstone and the organization, it really makes a difference in when you apply and when we go through your application and resume.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Christina. And because you are at least primarily a health facility, I'm sure that you all probably conduct background checks for applicants. Is there anything that would be a disqualifying factor that you can think of off the top of your head? I would assume that, like minor infractions or misdemeanors would not preclude somebody from being able to have employment with your organization.
Sure. So a lot of our programs, because we are working in residential homes with individuals, all of our programs have different requirements based on what the program requirements are or the grants. Those requirements have to be met. So there are some some things on someone's background that may disqualify them from a certain position, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they wouldn't be qualified for a position at Centerstone, just specifically maybe that position. But that's the best way I can answer it, because there's so many different programs that have different qualifications and eligibilities.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Christina. Another question that I have might be considered somewhat odd, but it's one that comes up frequently on these events. And the question is, do you have any sort of workplace restrictions on tattoos, hair color, piercings, things of that nature?
No, absolutely not. Centerstone is very inclusive. We actually have an employee who's dedicated to inclusive and diversity and making sure throughout the organization. Um, it's very, very important to Centerstone. So there's no issues with tattoos or piercings or hair color or anything like that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Christina. And can you elaborate a little bit more on what the shifts would be working at Centerstone? Do you have, multiple shifts that you guys offer? Is there a particular shift perhaps that you all are seeking to hire for more than others?
So our residential supervisor position, which I had mentioned before, does not require a degree. Those positions we're constantly filling because we have a lot of homes in the area. That is, again, taking care of our developmentally disabled working in those homes. Those positions, the hours are fluctuating. So you're going to have some nights, some weekends, some days. We have part-time and full-time positions available. Some are working weekends. Those would probably be the positions that we're hiring the most for. And that's in our homes all over Southern Illinois.
Fantastic. Thank you. And for the positions that you did cover here today, Christina, could you maybe walk the folks who are on the call through what a typical day might look like? You can even just select a few of the positions that you covered here today.
Sure. So for like a counselor position, a typical day would be most everything is done online through our work system. So definitely through the computer and a lot of Zoom meetings. But most of your day is going to be talking to our clients, doing notes, paperwork in our system, and making phone calls, appointments, that sort of thing for our counselor therapist positions. It's just going to be working with their clients, and then finding ways to reach out to new clients in the community that are looking or needing our assistance or help. Also for our residential positions, it's mostly going to be working in the homes, taking some of our clients to the movies, grocery shopping, spending time with them. It's day-to-day activities, just being there to assist them in day-to-day life and care for them.
Excellent. Thank you for that response, Christina. And the next question that I do have for you, and you might have briefly touched upon it during your presentation, but for those positions that do require technology, do you provide, computers, phones, any things of that nature for folks who would be working for you?
We do. We provide for the counselors and therapists, they are provided their own computer and equipment. Our phones are done through our computers, so we have access to our voicemail and phones through the computer. The residential supervisors, individuals that are working in our group homes, most of the time they can use a tablet or their phone. They'll have access to the apps for our system to be able to use at any time. So they can use it on their own phone or tablets. They don't technically have to log into a computer. So it's pretty easy. Most of the residential positions, they don't have to have a computer to complete all of the work, but there are computers at each of the homes they can use.
Fantastic. Thank you, Christina. And for the folks that you do bring on, can they expect to be paid for the time that they're being trained?
Yes, all training is paid.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And I do just want to reiterate again, if you do have any questions for Christina regarding employment at Centerstone, please feel free to enter your questions into the chat and we'll get those answered for you as soon as possible. Christina, the next question that I am going to ask you is just one that I like to ask on all my events, just to give folks an idea as to what they can expect working for the organization. More specifically, the question is, what are the opportunities for advancement within your organization? And then are there any particular success stories that you might want to highlight for the folks who are on the call?
Well, I could answer probably both of those questions with just one example. Since I have worked for Centerstone, I have realized that they spend a lot of time developing their employees to allow for these individuals to be promoted. One of the things that all of our employees, myself included, are encouraged to develop our skills. We get the time and resources and support from our supervisors to develop our skills by assisting with repayment or reimbursement for license, or getting their license, encouraged to do any type of extended education, that sort of thing, to help them reach their goals. We do development reviews with supervisors on a regular basis, like every 3 months, so that we can help, as an organization, help each other grow and also retain our employees by allowing them to have opportunities to be promoted into new positions and or transfer into different positions within the organization.
Awesome. Thank you for that response, Christina. And Christina, for any of the folks that are on the call, if they do have questions regarding the application process or just general questions regarding employment, what is the best method, that they should go about getting those questions answered? Would it be by reaching out to you directly?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. And Christina, I do see that you put your email in the chat there for the folks that are on the call. Would it be possible for you to also put a link to the application page, as well in the chat?
I'm sorry, where do I put in the application page?
Yeah, so the link to your, job postings or your applications, if you could put that in the chat for the folks that are on the call.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I can do that.
Okay, fantastic. And again, while Christina is doing that, before we wrap up the session here, I just do want to reiterate that if you do have any questions for Christina regarding employment with Centerstone, please feel free to ask those questions and we'll get those answered for you as soon as possible. And of course, if something comes to mind after the session ends here today, please feel free to reach out directly to Christina at the email that she has provided, and she will get back to you as soon as possible. Christina, while you're doing that, before we wrap up the session here today, I just did want to give you an opportunity to include anything that perhaps maybe you feel that you might have overlooked, something that you would like to elaborate on a bit further, anything of that nature before we conclude our session here today.
I just, I feel like Centerstone as an organization truly cares about their employees. I feel blessed to be working for this organization. I've only been with them a year. My past is not in healthcare, so it's a learning curve when I first started here. But the passion that they have for the community, their employees, and the organization, it's inspiring, and I feel it's a great organization to work for. So if you are interested in positions, I highly recommend you reach out to me with any questions or concerns. I will communicate back to you as quickly as possible and try to answer any questions you have. Also, because we have so many different programs and different types of behavioral health facilities, if there are specific areas that you're interested in, like working with children or crisis intervention, substance use, that sort of thing. I a lot of times don't have the answer to all of those questions as far as specifics of the job itself, but my hiring managers are always willing to provide me with information about different opportunities in those specific areas. So I encourage you to reach out if you have a passion for helping others and you're looking for an opportunity to do that in your own career. Again, I just really want to encourage you to reach out and apply, and I will answer those questions the best I can.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Christina. And I just do want to thank not only Christina and Centerstone, excuse me, for attending today, but I also want to thank all the job seekers who are on the call. Again, as Christina stated, if you do have any questions for her regarding employment with the organization, please feel free to reach out to her at that email address that was provided. Christina, thank you so much for your time today. I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.